Feel that? Something's moving in Foxborough, and it's not just playoff energy. A switch flipped quietly. A primetime matchup is sitting there like it belongs on a movie poster. A league-wide argument is about to get loud, and there's one locker room detail that matters a whole lot more once January really hits. Think about that for a second. None of it is random, so I'll ask you straight up. Do you trust the Patriot way plan more, or the chaos that decides big games when it matters most? All right, since you're locked in, do me a favor. Hit like, subscribe if you ride with Patriots Nation, and drop a comment as we go, because this one is going to split the room. If anyone still thinks identity is just coach speak, look at what's happened to the Patriots as the calendar tightened. What we saw late in 2025 wasn't just a win streak. It was a team recognizing itself again. And it feels eerily familiar if you remember 2018. That year, the national noise got loud. People swore the dynasty was done. Pats fans sat through some ugly losses and a whole lot of "are they washed" talk. And yet, 3 playoff games later, Lombardi. The wild part? The turnaround didn't start in January. It started when the Patriots stopped chasing pretty football and leaned into what actually worked. Back then, those last 2 meaningless regular season games were the spark. New England basically swallowed its pride, shifted the approach, and embraced a run-first identity, under center looks, heavier sets, real clock control, and play action that actually scared people. That's how they went into Arrowhead and made the Chiefs watch the clock bleed out. That's how they called a wide variety of runs in the Super Bowl and won it the hard way. That's Patriot way at its coldest. Nobody cares about the narrative, only the result. Now take a breath and look at 2025. For most of the season, the run game was a problem. It felt like Maye or nothing. And that's a dangerous way to live. But over the last quarter of the season, the whole conversation flipped. The run game went from liability to legitimate weapon, and it didn't happen by magic. 2 triggers jump out. First, Drake Maye isn't just surviving broken plays. He's a real problem with his legs. When things collapse, he's still creating yards, and you can almost feel defenses hesitate because of it. Add in a few designed runs for him, even just a handful, and it changes how teams can play their coverages and their fronts. It forces decisions. It keeps people honest. Second, the backfield balance finally started to make sense. Ramondre Stevenson and Tre'Veyon Henderson stopped stepping on each other's toes and started feeding off each other. Less wear and tear, more explosion, cleaner ball security. And when you run the ball better, it's not just helping your quarterback. It changes your entire red zone life. It changes how defenses call third and medium. It changes how you finish drives. If you're sitting there thinking, yeah, but can that hold up in the playoffs? That's exactly why this is dangerous for opponents. If the offensive line is trending healthier and Maye is playing at this level, New England doesn't need to be the best rushing team on earth. It just needs to be competent, physical, and timely. Because once defenses have to respect the ground game, Maye gets cleaner lanes, both with play action and with his own mobility. That's how an already high-powered offense becomes a nightmare matchup in January. Which brings us to what's next. Because the next challenge isn't theoretical anymore. It has a date, a time, a stage. And there's another star quarterback walking into Gillette. Now all of this has a face on the other side of the ball. This isn't just playoffs. This isn't just Wildcard. This is one of those matchups the NFL loves to put in the spotlight because they know nobody's changing the channel. Drake Maye versus Justin Herbert Gillette Stadium. January cold. Real pressure. 2 franchises that genuinely believe they've got the quarterback to control the AFC for the next decade. Maye talked about Herbert in a way that tells you exactly where his head is. No trash talk. No fake bravado. Just respect. Real football respect. He talked about how Herbert throws it, how he can create off-platform, how he makes plays on the move, how he carries himself. That's not the voice of a guy trying to prove he belongs. That's the voice of a quarterback who knows he belongs and recognizes elite when he sees it. Then there's Vrabel, being Vrabel. No hype, no promises. Just the weekly truth. Figure out who you have, identify the keys, practice, Be ready. But Pats fans can read between the lines. Contain Herbert is never about holding him to nothing. It's about rhythm. It's about discomfort. It's about forcing him off script and making 3rd and long feel like 3rd and forever. Foxborough in January has a way of doing that, especially when the crowd knows every snap is a turning point. There's also a layer people outside Patriots Nation are missing. New England is coming into this game looking as connected as they've looked all season. 3 straight wins, offense clicking, more discipline, less wasted football. The confidence is showing up in the details, not just the final score. That's why the conversation around this matchup feels so heavy. It's not history doing the talking. It's the current version of this team. Ian Rappaport laid out the Wildcard schedule, and it put this one right where it belongs. Sunday night, January 11th. The final game of the day. Everybody watching. Everybody judging. And moments like that separate good quarterbacks from quarterbacks who change narratives. For Maye, it's a chance to show the future is already here. For Herbert, it's a chance to walk into a hostile stadium and own it. For the Patriots, it's a chance to prove this isn't just a nice season. It's a real playoff run. Now, quick pause. While everyone's arguing quarterbacks, there's another conversation running right alongside it, and it says a lot about how this entire season is going to be remembered. Because the MVP debate has turned into a spotlight on what people value and what they ignore. Heading into Week 18, the whole league framed it like a head-to-head, Drake Maye versus Matthew Stafford, with the finale deciding everything. One stumble here, one signature moment there, and boom, storyline completed. Except football didn't cooperate with the easy script. Both teams won. Both quarterbacks played well. Suddenly, the debate didn't get clearer. It got more honest. That's where the frustration kicks in if you're watching New England closely. Stat for stat, Maye has been right there and in certain spots ahead. Production, consistency, impact, and it keeps circling back to the name of the award, Most Valuable Player. Not best quarterback on the prettiest roster. Not best veteran story. Value is about what happens when you remove the guy from the equation. When J.J. Watt talked about it, he hit the nerve. Value isn't luxury. Value is dependency. Take Stafford off the Rams, and that team still has structure, still has serious weapons, still has a lot of answers. Now imagine this Patriots offense without Drake Maye. Be honest. Where is this team? Because it's not sitting here with a high seed and real momentum. Maye isn't just playing well. He's elevating the entire operation. He's making the line look steadier. He's giving the backfield better looks. He's helping a receiver group without constant superstar headlines still produce. That's value. The problem is the award has drifted. It's become a blend of narrative, popularity, and sometimes a little bit of lifetime achievement energy. Stafford is respected. He's proven. He's a champion. But that shouldn't outweigh what a player actually meant to his team in this specific season. When you look at what Maye has done with less around him and more responsibility on his shoulders, the definition of MVP feels pretty clear. And if you're sensing the outcome might already be leaning in one direction, you're not alone. Lines move, opinions follow, and suddenly a historic season from a young quarterback gets treated like, yeah, that's nice, but... Except here's the part that matters most. January isn't finished writing the story. Playoff football has a way of making people revisit arguments they thought were settled. And speaking of making statements, the last game didn't just make one. It screamed one, straight out of the backfield. Because if there was any doubt about who sets the tone physically when the lights get hot, Week 18 answered it without being subtle. Ramondre Stevenson didn't just have a solid game. He had the kind of performance that changes how teammates talk about you in the locker room and how defenses look at you on the next game plan. Few touches. Massive damage. Explosion at the exact moment the Patriots needed to send a message heading into the postseason. Context matters too. Stevenson's season wasn't clean. There was the toe issue lingering. There were the ball security moments that had the fan base split. There were stretches where it felt like the run game needed stability and didn't always get it. But football isn't linear. It's survival. And when the moment showed up, Stevenson responded in the loudest way possible. 131 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns, and a Dolphins defense that looked emotionally broken as the game went on. Don't miss how it happened. It wasn't just power. It was vision. It was patience behind blocks. It was hitting the crease with conviction. That 56-yard run early? That wasn't luck. That was confidence and timing. Then you bring in Treveyon Henderson and the pace doesn't drop. Now the defense can't breathe. Angles get sloppy. Eyes start cheating. Gaps widen. That's when the Patriots' offense becomes a real problem. Vrabel put it simply, they found the balance. Not Stevenson or Henderson. Stevenson and Henderson. Knowing when to feature each guy, keeping both fresh, getting to the fourth quarter with more juice than the opponent. That's playoff football. That's January football. And it changes how defenses have to play Drake Maye because now you can't sit back and act like the run is just window dressing. There's a human side to it too. Stevenson didn't talk like a guy chasing revenge. He talked like a guy chasing consistency, staying level, day by day, trusting the team when things weren't going his way. That matters, because it tells you the locker room is together. It tells you the confidence is real. It tells you this isn't a team hoping something happens. It's a team that believes it can make something happen. 9 touchdowns on the season is nice. But the bigger story is when the biggest moments arrived. Second seed locked up. Chargers coming to town. And the Patriots stepping into the playoffs with something a lot of teams claim they have, but don't. A real physical identity that travels. So now it all comes back to one question. Who are the Patriots when the spotlight gets brightest? A run game that found its backbone. A quarterback who's leading without asking permission. A backfield that commands respect. And an outside narrative that still can't fully accept what it's seeing. None of this guarantees anything, but it creates something powerful. Conviction. January doesn't forgive mistakes, but it rewards teams that know exactly how they want to win. And I want to hear from you. How far can this team go if they keep playing like this? If you ride with Patriots Nation, hit like, make sure you're subscribed, and get in these comments right now, because this is the kind of debate that tells you exactly where the fan base is at.